Good morning, everyone. I'm Vince Lancy, and this is the Market Rundown. Today, we have two topics to discuss. One is that a secret gold buyer, which is really China, uh, has been confirmed by a creditable analyst uh, writing for Monetary Metals, something that we've written about here several times, but September 30th was the most recent post on that. And we're happy that the legwork was done confirming what we believed and what Goldman Sachs had already reported on. Uh, in celebration of that, we're just going to take two premium posts that we had locked up on this topic that we've discussed in this space before, but we're going to unlock them for readers. So you can look at them and you can look at those posts for the conceptual concepts, and you can have a bigger picture outlook of what's going on. But it's significant. It's not insignificant, and the legwork was well done. Okay, the second thing is I'm trying to get away from it, but it just keeps coming back. Mercantilism, right? I mean, so many things have happened in the last 72 hours that are mercantilistic that I almost feel like I should have shirts made with it, like it's a brand or something. Uh, anyway, uh, I'm going to give you a wheel with mercantilistic things that I don't know where I got it, but you guys are going to have it. And every time a news item comes up, you could say, where does it fit on this circle? And we're going to use it and put some recent news items on that circle. Let's get to the markets. 10-year yields are down 5 basis points to 425. The dollar is 106.39, down 48. SP 500 is 6015, down 7. VIX is up 7, nothing, up 14 at 1416. Gold is up 16, was up as high as $21 at 26.48. Silver is 30.40, down 3 cents. Copper is 408, barely up. WTI is 69.46, up 24. Natural gas is 305, down 13, significant. Bitcoin is 93,700, 1688. I'd hate to think that $100,000 is not going to be breached before it cycles back lower. Ethereum 3488, up almost 5%. People are unwinding a Bitcoin Ethereum spread now, and people probably getting ready for an Ethereum ETF rollout. Palladium 973, down 4. Platinum 927, down 2. Gold silver ratio slightly higher. Grains are mixed. Wheat is down 3 cents. Corn is up 2 cents. Soybean is up 5 cents. There's the gold hourly chart. Ignore the moving averages. We'll come to that in a second. Here we are. All right. Gold secret buyer confirmed, gold secret buyer revealed, and the wheel of mercantilism. Here's the front page. Yesterday, we covered a report by Bank of America on gold and silver. We title it Tug of War. And the tug of war is between American macroeconomic drivers like policy, right? Tugging against global secular drivers. And they hint at that confrontation as well. We just gave it a name. But it's a pretty good report. And there's a lot in there on silver, making the case for silver outperforming gold. And macroeconomically, it is completely accurate. Whether it will happen or not is an entirely different story. There's a lot of news items out today. Barrick, the Bank of America, we just mentioned, gold bonds, et cetera, et cetera. So let's try and move a little bit quicker. All right, secret gold buyer confirmed. In a post written for Monetary Metals titled Chinese Central Bank Just Secretly Bought 60 Tons of Gold, the author, Jan Newhouse, confirms what was discussed in this space on September 30th, pursuant to a report back then broken down for premium subscribers by Goldman Sachs. The author shows the legwork he took, confirming what the bank shared and we outlined back then, explaining that China had taken delivery in September of 60 tons. That was actually more than that. That math adds up. Here is an excerpt, right? The People's Bank of China is covertly buying. We would also add that the PLA, the People's Liberation Army, is covertly buying very large amounts of gold, adding upward pressure to a tense gold market. And there's a picture of the customs report that you can get the data from to confirm that. Now, according to Chinese customs, gross gold imports into the Beijing region for September accounted for 69 tons, which is roughly in line with the UK's gross export to China of 60 tons. So basically, it's money out of gold, money, it is gold, right? Out of London into China. And it's been going on for months, probably years. It's been a well-known mechanism for people going back that were studying the under the radar buying. And typically what China would do is they would, the PLA, the army is not part of the government and they're not on the balance sheet. They can own what they want to own. So the PLA was always a buyer under the radar, right? Other military dictatorships or centralized economies, doesn't have to be military, but when you keep the army separate from the government, the army can do it once it has its own balance sheet. And that's why you have to woo the army if you want to have a coup, aside from the fact that they have guns. Anyway, but this mechanism, tried and true as it was, has become more prevalent in in current events, right? If it worked for them before, they're going to do it now. The United Arab Emirates is doing it, Saudi Arabia, everyone is doing it. And they're doing it under the radar, not to be sneaky, which it ends up becoming sneaky. They're doing it under the radar because they don't want to disturb price because they like it low. See, the BRICS are stackers, just like we are. And what happens is the LBMA banks will, on occasion, delay or underreport that data to the IMF, or the IMF gets it and they fail to reshare it with us. So it's kind of like there's a big buyer, don't tell anyone, right? So these guys all know there's a big buyer out there, right? And they're all getting their own houses in order while that big buyer is buying before making it obvious that they're sharing it with us. Okay, so here is the gold fix analysis from September 30th on that same topic. All right, Goldman shares a gold secret. Now, they don't say it's China. They say it could be China, but they don't say it's China. We're going to open that and show you how to go through it. And a secret of gold buyer sort of revealed, nothing sort of about it. That's the actual report. The PDF, some time has gone by, so we're going to unlock it for readers. Here we go. Goldman shares a gold secret. There are 4 sections to it. First of all, this is all part of buy season. They raised their target from 2,700 to 2,900. Goldman reveals, here, I'll click on that. This is how you go through it. Goldman reveals new gold model fundamentals. Remember, the physical buying is now the reason that gold goes up. It's no longer dollar correlations, although those matter in the short term. Goldman, gold is resetting correlations with the West. They use the word reset. They're calling it resetting relation. Here it is, reset the relationship, right? They're not saying reset. Like, people don't like to hear the word reset, but they actually use the word. So that's a big clue. The next section, the section I think we're talking about here, is the bank openly discusses increased secretive buying of gold in London being held for an unknown buyer, wink, wink, embedded in a walkthrough of the LBMA market structure. Our estimates of China's institutional gold purchases in the London OTC market align with the PBOC report, but tend to be higher, start earlier, and last longer, Exhibit 4. While the PBOC reported no additional purchases after April, our nowcast estimate, that's a public data that comes out of the IMF and the LBMA, and then the banks have it, estimates 50 tons of institutional purchases from China on the London OTC market in May, the month after they stopped officially buying, okay? And they've been buying every month since then. And September shows you that they've been buying from May through September. So the monetary metals is kind of like the bookend, right, to the Goldman report. They confirm each other. In fact, there's a chart in here. Let me see what that chart says. Yeah, so the estimates by Goldman Sachs are in blue. There's more than that, okay? But that's the estimates. And the buying is the PBOC. It comes in as a customs, not as a monetary metal. Comes in as an import. Then the PBOC takes it and changes it. So it's an accounting trick, as some other people like to say. All right. So that report, let me go back to that. This report has been unlocked, okay? because I think look, in April summary. In April, the PBOC said we're not buying gold anymore, and they stopped disclosing all those nice monthly gold buys. And in May, they continued to buy June, July, August, September 30th, right, as reported by Monetary Metals. So there's your bookend. Let's unlock this. It's a done deal. It's real. If you have any doubt about this, well, you're not getting your news from the right places, right? Okay, so there's the report. We're very happy to see the legwork done on that, connecting the dots on the whole, customs versus some good research there, and it's probably been going on for years, since 2009. All right, the next thing, the wheel of mercantilism. Now, in the last, 72 hours, these things have come out, right? So yesterday, I believe, you can't quote me on this, I don't have the links handy, but Russia is restricting scrap exports now. So you have scrap metal, you can't just export it. They're keeping it. They're keeping the scraps, right? They're keeping the scraps to resmelt them, to refine them for their own use. Okay. They're restricting gold leaving the country in all forms now. We're getting down to scraps now. Okay. China is restricting access to commerce entry. Now there's multiple ways that's happening. One way would be like this. You can buy our lithium, right? But you can't export lithium. You have to build batteries here and sell finished batteries. China wants to sell value-added goods. They don't want to just be a seller of natural resources. Again, China removing taxes on imports and increasing permissibility to buy metals. That's sloppy wording there, but what I'm saying here is that about 48 hours ago, 24 hours ago, I mentioned it yesterday, Eric Young and I were having a quick discussion about it, but basically China has made it that you don't need to have bigger bars to buy gold. You can have smaller bars, and they're basically going downstream to increase uptake of gold in China on the SGE. Barrick arrest. Now, I'm not really sure how to make this, if this is a big deal or not, but employees of Barrick were arrested, released, and rearrested. We have that story there. It's really a Reuters story, and I'm not sure what the implications are, but of that direct arrest. But I will say what the implications are. To get gold out of a country that's not in your trading block, that you're not friendly with, it's going to cost you more. Unions are going to go on strike if it's a Latin American country, or they're going to say you can't destroy the earth, right? In China, they're going to say you got to build a factory here, right? In Africa, they're going to say you just can't have the gold, right? It's our gold. We're going to keep it, right? Kind of a nationalization, or give us a portion of it, like they did to Newmont. And in Canada, they haven't done anything yet, but they're going to. They're going to. All right. Monetizing gold. Another topic. Monetizing gold on the bond yield curve. What does that have to do with mercantilism? I'll tell you. If the U.S. has, this is something that Scott Bessent and Judy Shelton and Tom Luongo and myself were talking about in 2022, that if you have gold and it's sitting there and it's a pet rock and it's not doing anything and people want it, well, you want to make some money off of it, don't you? I'm the government. All right. Well, let's let people have it 50 years from now on a yield curve, and let's use the money we get from that, the dollars we get from that, to pay down our own debt. Okay. Now you say, well, how's that mercantilism? Can't buy the gold and take it out of America if Americans are now being asked to buy gold bonds. That restricts our exports of gold. And that means all the gold laying around starts to get claimed, okay? It's mercantilism. Scott Bessent, Judy Shelton et al. Talking about it indirectly. So wheel of mercantilism. I didn't create this. I might change a couple things, but it's really good. Mercantilism, low or no taxes on imports of raw materials. You got raw materials, we'll take them in. We'll take them in. If you're stupid enough to sell us raw materials at a low price with your labor, we're smart enough to buy it and make it into something that people are going to spend more money on. High taxes on imports of finished products. That's what Trump is doing, right? Right? You can't sell your stuff here. Every country becomes an island, right? No use of foreign ships for foreign trade. Now, that's very old school. I don't know how it works, but it's probably basically like, well, actually, it's not basically, it is. Supply chains are interdependent. Chinese ships, bring Russian oil to American harbors. No, not anymore. It's American ships get oil from a friend somewhere else. That's supply chains, right? No use of foreign ships for foreign trade. We don't trust you anymore. No taxes on exports of finished goods. You know what? We're going to keep our prices as low as we can in China with no export taxes because we want to make sure the Americans buy them, right? So you're trying to export more than you import. Everything here is about that. Colonies are banned from trading with other nations now. Colonies is what they were then, but now they're going to be trade partners. Hey, Mexico, you don't want those tariffs, Trump says? Well, when China opens a factory in your country and you try and sell Chinese cars to us, called El Chinese Caro, it's not going to work, right? It becomes a very complicated problem, and it has to be looked at. High taxes on exports of raw materials, yeah, you're not allowed to sell stuff unless you make stuff locally. No exportation of precious metals. Well, there you have it. That's what Russia's doing. That's what China's doing. You think you can get gold out of China once it goes in? Use of staple ports. I got to be honest with you. I don't know what that means. Staple must mean bigger or established ports, which is why China is building a port in Peru because other ports that we control will not be made available to it. Right? I mean, yes, we know why they're doing it, so they can control the port, so they can have more trade with Peru. But they're also doing it because we're not going to let them anymore. Government helps home industry grow. There you go. That's it. Wheel of mercantilism. All that's missing is Vanna White. Moving on to the news and analysis. BOA of gold and silver. BOA's turn. Is the United States considering a gold-backed treasury instrument? Nice hypothetical article. Not even hypothetical. It's really some dots he's connecting there. This is Gold Telegraph talking about some of the things that we talk about here all the time, but connecting because he just did a very nice interview with Judy Shelton that he's expounding on in this article. Barrick Gold employees arrested. We have no idea what's going on there, right? It's PM Barrick. There's the whole stories. All right, mercantilist China. Sorry, it just has to happen, right? Apple is facing an uphill battle to release its own artificial intelligence models for iPhones and other products in China, with a top Beijing official warning that foreign companies will confront a difficult and long process to win approval to sell their stuff in our country unless they partner with local groups. Tech version of the lithium battery concept I just told you. That's where we are. The rest of the stories are not mercantilistic. But they're all related to what we're going through right now. All right, so there's your stories, data on deck, GDP, PCE, big day today. I would suspect that the liquidity leaves by noon, but the market could move violently afterwards. All right, Friday, Chicago Business Barometer, Thursday, Thanksgiving, American Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone in the States. And let's take a look at what we have on the day here. You're looking at this market and you're saying, oh, gold's going to go back up. You know what? In the past, I would say to you, be careful, because I was always, we're all scarred by this. Shit. Maybe we could. And I don't want to just blow smoke either. The bottom line is we have some big data coming up today. And this is short covering for gold by shorts that have made some money. Is this also macro discretionary buying? Could be, highly doubtful. Is macro discretionary looking to buy it again? Possibly, not sure. We're not down at the 100-day moving average. We're up here, but we have a nice long wick below here. This could be one of those fish hooks. I find it hard to believe it's a fish hook, but look, if the data comes out remotely interpreted as bullish for gold and gold rallies strong, I wouldn't fade it this time. I would just say that China is buying the dip, right? The BRICS are buying the dip. Like the central bank buying is not done at all. The central bank buying is going to increase going into the end of the year if that's the case. If, however, it gets below today's low, well, then you're back to a choppy sideways situation. Again, what I say, this is the dead zone. We're in it now. Start looking at a sideways channel instead of an upwardly sloping channel. Silver, right? See how it's just non-committal, right? I mean, you don't want to buy it because it's above the 100-day moving average. You don't want to sell it because it's below the moving average. You want to trade it in the direction that it goes once the moving average picks a direction. If the moving average perks up, then wherever the market is, you buy it. If the moving average slopes down, you sell it for a short-term trade. You do what you want to do. I'm not telling you to do anything. That's it. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I'm Vince. Do I have more notes here? Yeah, again, we have, just bringing you back to this. We've unlocked this story here for you. Okay. It's entitled Goldman Shares a Secret, Gold Secret, and we'll repin it at the top. And we'll also have the link to the monetary metals post for your reading pleasure. Have a great day.